Back again. So yeah, my video I wanted to cover about AEW and the WWE. So how I'm looking at it is, ever since WCW the Invasion kind of ended, I mean we had an amazing era with the Ruthless Aggression, which then it went a bit downhill since the PG. A few exceptions like CM Punk and yeah, that's kind of it. But I just think Vince ain't trying anymore. He's given up, and I just think AEW could be a good thing because I love WWE. I mean, it's my life. I've been watching it ever since I was 3 or 4 years old. I've watched all the older stuff. So watching the product now is really difficult. I don't watch Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't even watch NXT. I watch the pay-per-views sometimes. But years ago, I would never miss a wrestling pay-per-view, a Raw and a SmackDown, because you couldn't, because you wouldn't understand where the story's going or what. But I can miss 3 months, turn it back on, and no doubt Bobby Lashley will be fighting whoever. Not that I give a fuck about Bobby Lashley, but this is the trouble, I think. So AEW, the pros to it is Cody Rhodes. He should have been a main eventer in WWE. Massive fan of Cody, and WWE gave him Stardust. I mean, all the bloke wanted to do, fucking Laurie, all the bloke ever wanted to do was fight his brother at a WrestleMania, and yeah, I would have loved to have seen that, but not Goldust versus Stardust. Who the fuck wants to see that? So yeah, it gives people like Cody a push. I mean, now this competition, hopefully people like Luke Harper, The Revival, Ziggler, and a few others, they could go over and be main event stars, you know? For example, Drew McIntyre, he went travelling around indie feds and a bit of Impact. He'd done all of that cycle and he's a main eventer. He went to NXT champion, and then he lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. What the fuck? They built him up as a massive heel. Look what they're doing with Samoa Joe. 20 seconds or so, out straight away. Survivor Series. I was looking forward to seeing the monster Drew McIntyre push that he's had against Samoa Joe. I really was. I want to see them two go at it, because they could. And I just can't get on board of what they're doing. So I mean, I'd like AEW to help their current roster. Yeah, I mean, shit, some of them, but I mean there is some British stars there, and other stars that ain't all about flips and all that. They're all about submissions, technical, and I'm looking forward to seeing them, because I know WWE wouldn't touch them, and if they did, they'd be shoved in the 205 division, going nowhere, and they'd probably end up walking like Neville did. So yeah, I'm just really hoping that AEW does do well, and over time, I'm looking a couple of years down the line, when they get the Revival in there, when they get the good talent in WWE that's not going anywhere, and not only that, but if they do really well, Vince McMahon might wake up and try and up his game a bit, because that's what we all secretly want, don't we? Let's be honest. We want WWE. I'm not on about WWE going TV 14, because they don't have to, but I mean, they can give good wrestlers PG era. They really can. There's matches, some of my greatest matches of all time, Bret versus Michaels at 96 WrestleMania. That's one, for example, but there's loads of good PG matches. I mean, Bret Hart versus British Bulldog in your house 5. Bit of blood there. But it was classed as like, it was in like a PG kind of era. I don't know what the rating on that pay-per-view is. It's probably a 15 in the UK. But it was good. I mean, if anyone gets a nosebleed in WWE now, like, I'm half tempted to like stop the bloody match, and it's just, nah. A bit of blood adds to the match, and yeah, I'm just hoping Vince just backs away and lets Triple H runs it, because I know he'll do an amazing job like he did with NXT. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for AEW for the fact of giving blokes the chance to really show what they are capable of doing in the ring, because I know they can. And there's a lot of talent in WWE that I mentioned that would benefit for going over. So yeah, AEW is not a bad thing. It's just some of their roster is, it's not great. But then, you know, WWE roster at the moment, I mean, they're all talented, but they're all the same. They are all the same. So yeah, that's my thoughts.